Ladies and gentlemen, it is Thursday, and wow, we have a scorcher. We going back to back. Might as well be with Drake. But let me go ahead and introduce you to Jay Street, riding from LA, specifically riding with Exp. Welcome, my brother.
Thank you for having me, dog.
Oh man.
Wow.
Come on, man. Shit, it's an honor to have you today, brother.
Pleasure is mine. Pleasure is mine.
Yes, sir. I couldn't be more excited to have you today. Today's a big day for you.
Yeah.
And let's just roll into it. What do you got for us?
So today we have a big event going down right here in Irvine, in your neighborhood, around the corner from you.
Yeah.
We have about 250 people getting ready right now. We have 12 people taking the stage. It's going to be fire. Yeah, it's going to be great. So
You're one of the...
I'm one of the speakers. It's the Game Changers event. The people that are changing the game in real estate.
That's it.
So we're moving the needle forward, pushing the envelope.
And that's it. I mean, this man really is that pivotal piece. I know I want to introduce your book.
Yes.
I want to introduce and talk to your book. I'm excited to go ahead and get that in my hands.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and get that on Kindle, right?
Yes, exactly. On Kindle.
Yeah.
We'll have the hardcovers coming for the spring, but right now on Kindle, we're keeping the momentum going on that one before we go wide.
Yeah. So I'm aware. Let's go and bring them into the fold with
Yeah.
that.
So my book, Calculated Success, you can check it out now. If you go to my Instagram, j.street.mba, link in bio, you can get the book there. Everything's there. All my contact information is also there too. But my book, Calculated Success, where CALC is an acronym for the 4 keys to unlock your unlimited potential: clarity, action, leverage, and consistency.
Is that what that is?
That's what it is.
Okay.
That's why the whole brand is CALC. Everything is calculated. CALC, clarity, action, leverage, consistency. With those, you can take over the world, man. There's nothing you can't do.
I tend to agree. I really tend to agree on that. Everything that I'm doing right now revolves around those 4 keys, and thank you for bringing that to my attention, man.
Of course, my pleasure. Bro. My pleasure.
what-
I'm glad you agree.
Dude, that's everything. These guys, they know. These guys know. Like, I have to be clear on my mission. I have to be calculated in what I'm going to put out, and it's just essential, man. So I'm gonna, that's gonna be something on my to-do list for sure. Let me ask you this: how did you come to find those tenets, or were they ingrained in with you?
Yeah, I've been really involved in personal development for a long time. Growing up playing sports, I'm 6'7". You guys can't tell on the podcast here, but you might see I might be a little big in this one frame in the one shot, but your boy's 6'7". So growing up playing sports, the mentality is so strong. It's mostly mental. The game is mostly mental. If you look at most NBA players, they kind of fit a similar body type.
Yep.
There's only so many video game characters, as they say. So really the difference is the mind. Like if you look at Kobe, Michael, they're similar body type to literally 85+% of the NBA.
Yes.
But why are they special? It's up here. If you look at even Kobe's stats, Kobe couldn't jump as high as most people, 38-inch vertical. He wasn't fast. If you look at him on paper, he shouldn't have been one of the greatest, if not the greatest.
Yeah.
I personally think he's the greatest. Gilbert Arenas made the same point that essentially he was driving an S550 Mercedes-Benz
Seen that.
like it was Bugatti, right? And that's so true because he shouldn't have been able to do those things. On paper, it doesn't look like he's going to be one of the greats.
Right.
But since he is, he has to be the greatest.
Yeah, I seen that. What you're referencing?
Yeah.
I seen that. Which podcast that was on? If you remember?
I don't remember.
Neither do I, but I do remember just seeing that 2 days ago. Kobe's my guy. I rock with Kobe 100%.
Me too. Me too. I'm a huge Kobe fan. So my book dropped on 8/24 Kobe Day.
I remember, yeah.
Yeah. And this year, in honor of Kobe, I'm actually releasing 5 books in my series that I've been working on for like the last 2 years. I'm dropping 5 books this year in honor of Kobe. So yeah.
Shit,
I'm
dude.
a huge Kobe fan.
Yeah, I can't speak more than enough. I can't speak any higher than where he's at. One thing I'll take you back on personally is playing basketball when he messed up his right hand.
Yes.
And then he took that summer to learn his left.
Yes.
That was the summer I started learning my left and becoming dominant.
Nice.
So that's one thing that I took away from him. Another thing I took away from him was his message about working hard. You know, talent is solid, great. You got talent, but look at what he did. He took his talent and elevated to a new level by just providing hard work, like
Right.
outworking everyone. And look at the elevation he did. So I personally try to do that myself. I know you're in that same mindset, man.
Really.
You mentioned sports.
Yeah.
Let's dive into it.
Let's get into sports. I love sports.
Yeah,
Yes.
brother. So as far as sports are concerned, Was there something you were introduced to first? Where was your first passion?
Basketball and football were the two sports I played first. Football was the first I was actually good at. But then I started having massive growth spurts. And then I got really good at basketball too. And then suddenly I'm like, you know what? I might end up being really tall. I should probably just lean in this basketball thing. And also with football, there's so many injuries. You just never know. The people that are in the NFL, they're the lucky ones. A lot of players got hurt in high school, college, that could have been some of the greatest. It does happen to basketball players too, but just a little less frequently.
Yeah.
But if you look at a player like Grant Hill would have been in the conversation if he didn't get hurt.
Definitely.
Right? Jason Williams would have been in the conversation if he didn't get hurt.
OJ, yeah.
Right? So
Sure.
sports has always been a big foundation of my life, and it's kind of like a microcosm for just real world and life itself.
Yes.
That's one thing I hate that's happening now is like this whole participation trophy thing where everyone gets a trophy. They actually kind of started that when I was playing Little League, but my dad was the coach and he made us throw the trophies away.
He really did?
Yeah.
He's like, give me that.
Right. We're not taking that. That's not for us. We're throwing this away and we're coming back next year and we're winning the whole thing. And we did. So growing up playing sports, I was always super competitive and I always wanted to win high school championship, which I did.
You did?
Oh, I did.
Where?
Yeah. Taft High School.
You went to Taft?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a SGV kid.
Oh, really? Okay.
I'm an SGV kid. Yeah, I played at college. I played at East Los Angeles College. High school I was at Marquette, but we were not good. We were always 0-10. But the thing is that it taught you, when we were talking about those tenants,
Yeah.
it taught you to, there might be the beginning of the season, 55, 70 players. I was always the last one at the end of it all.
Yeah. Nice.
Like there's always only like 40 people, and I was always it because it was not just a love of a game, but it taught you a lot. Like we're talking about mentally.
Yeah.
Basketball, I was always undersized. You were on the other side.
You know, I was oversized for high school. I was a little undersized for college, and I played center. So
You played center?
center at 6'7". So in high school, that works.
Yeah.
College, not as much. NBA, definitely not. I'm a guard.
Right.
So I feel the undersized thing for me.
Yeah.
Same thing. But I'm still very grateful for what basketball and sports did for me. It let me see that I'm really passionate about leadership. Because after basketball was over, I had this crisis of identity. Who am I if I'm not this basketball player? Right? Like everybody gets to that point. What do they do next? Because that journey eventually will end. Well, when it ended, I'm still 6'7". I'm still this big athletic built guy. Everywhere I go, they're like, you should play basketball. You ever thought about playing basketball? No, of course I didn't.
That's
Right?
gone, yeah.
But I took that time and reflected inwards and realized that what I was most passionate about always was leadership when I was playing basketball. I was always team captain, even if I wasn't the best player.
Really?
Yes. I always prioritized we over me. So team stats over individual stats. The only individual stats I really cared about a lot were rebounds and block shots because I believe defense wins games.
Okay. Get that shit out of here.
Right. There's a lot of intangibles on defense.
Yeah.
That don't show up on a stat sheet. When you're stopping plays from happening, when you're clogging up the middle, when you're controlling the paint, that changes the game because players are afraid to go in. Like when I'm blocking shots left to right, they're afraid to go
I'm
in.
hesitant.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to do my 1-2 in there. I'm going to go in and try to do a floater for 12 out instead of inside 8. Yeah.
So in getting a lot of rebounds, while the rebound is a stat, the rebound also means we either got additional attempts or I stopped them from getting more attempts at the basket.
That's it.
So that's why those were my favorite stats if I had to pick individual stats, but always was a leader, always team captain, even if I wasn't the best player. And then I decided to apply that into real estate. Started my career in property management, managed over $3 billion in assets, all by applying that leadership method that I learned in high school to become one of the best on my team and then have the best team. Apply that to real estate, and I ended up leading the best sales teams, winning all the awards. And
Where was this at?
I was with a few big companies. Equity was one of the really big players that's still out today. I started off my career with Archstone, which doesn't exist anymore, but kind of got rolled into Equity and Avalon.
Okay.
So it was
I
with
know Avalon personally because they're in Long Beach.
Oh, okay.
They have a property.
Yeah, they do. They have a lot in Long Beach. So that was the foundation of my career. And then I ended up getting into real estate. There's a whole long story. We could do a whole like
front
2
nine,
hours on my whole entire real estate journey. But to backtrack just a tiny bit, one of the first people I met when I was doing property management was a woman named Jennifer Berman, who was the CEO team leader of Keller Williams Marina Del Rey.
Oh.
Yeah, and I leased her apartment in Marina Del Rey, and I convinced her to spend over her budget, twice the budget, and she said, listen, you convinced me, a master salesperson, to spend double what I wanted on a liability. If you just come with me, I'll teach you how to upsell assets that are actually good for people, and you'll be one of the best agents we've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I told her, well, I still have hoop dreams right now. I'm playing college basketball. I'm 19.
What age was
it?
it? Oh, 19. Okay.
Yeah. And I still have these hoop dreams of playing in the NBA. So we just stayed in touch. Facebook, social media.
Yeah.
Shows you the power of social media. We stayed in touch for literally over a decade. She went on to run Hilton Highland, where Mauricio came from, Aaron Kerman came from, Brandon Rainey Williams, Josh Altman and his brother.
Yeah.
All these heavy hitters ended up coming from Hilton Highland. So she really did do what she said and created some of the best agents out there. So fast forward through my journey, after I kind of hit a glass ceiling around 30 in property management, I decided, you know what? Her words are always in the back of my head. I'm going to take a shot at myself and gamble. And I did it. So I called her up. Mm-hmm. She plugged me in with Compass and then never looked back. Been rolling ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So not only was she a mentor, like being just present, she really has elevated you to where you are and realizing your potential.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Spotted my potential early on. Uh-huh. When I wasn't as good as I became, this was like the early days. She saw that potential in the early days.
I can see that, bro. I mean, you laid it out perfectly for us to understand and everybody in the audience, because she's a high producer. She's sales, right? Oh, yeah. So she expects a certain level of not just service, but you got to really like get in that ear, you know?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So I'm almost curious what you said to her.
You know, it was so long ago because I'm 38 now almost. I'll be 38 in a couple of weeks. So just go ahead and fast forward. I'm 38. So this was almost 20 years ago. This is 19 years ago I was 19. So I don't remember exactly what I said, but I know what I was selling, and that was a lifestyle. So I got that early on. So I wasn't selling an apartment.
Got you.
Lifestyle.
Got you. See?
Yeah.
See, guys, it's again about providing value and not delivering a product.
Exactly.
It's about a vision, right? You have to provide a vision. You know, you live your vision, man. You had a vision and you executed it with your book, with property management, and you're continually executing. And that's why I wanted you on today, man, because I'm in the early stages of executing my vision. And I think that's one of man's personal, like, greatest things that we can do as human beings. Pulling something out of our head and putting it into the material physical world.
I love it. Where are you headed? Where are you going? What's the build getting towards?
The build is, to be honest, oh man, I need to, as far as property, as far as real estate, I need to own like one multi-unit, probably 10 units, all in Long Beach, because the Olympics are coming. That's my target. That's where I want to be. As far as in between the tees, oh man, it's tied directly to my golf game.
I love it.
It's tied directly to my golf game. So In Between the Tees came out because I was always going out golfing with my friends, and we would always be on camera messing around. And then it became taking my partners out, doing business meetings, and I would always film it. And then one day, Enrique from Centerstone Escrow said, dude, I love what you're doing. Why don't you like really do this? And I'm just an executor. I just figured out to do captions, figured out to do that. And from that point on, these boys caught me and said, hey, let's do something a little bit more organized. Let's bring them in the studio, and then you can still do your on-course. So as I drop my handicap, I hope to increase my guest presence, people I plan to do business with, like yourself, just be able to go ahead and show a light to everyone out there that, you know, the industry is small, large, but small. We all know each other, right?
Yep.
But if there's something that I can provide for our audience, then pretty much show them and say, hey, listen, J Street is a person that you want to go ahead and not just work with, but he's going to provide you some value, and his team is about this level. If this is something that you're missing and searching for, here he is.
Yes.
That's kind of what I'm building up for, man. I'm not a gatekeeper. I'm a collaborator. I'm looking to build a community. And I had this similar conversation with my partner, Alex Martin, from the Martin Group, and that's what we're working on, our Chalk charity event. We're looking to raise over $250,000 for a Chalk charity event in April for golf.
Oh, that's awesome.
Golf.
I love it.
So it's all about that, man. And it's going to come to light. I'm an executor, so it may not, I don't have the end goal in sight, but I know what I'm building to. And once I get close to that, it's going to come out.
Yeah. And calc is it's actually a flywheel. So clarity, action, leverage, consistency. As you take more action, as you apply more leverage, as you stay consistent, it actually gives you more clarity. So you don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just have to start moving forward in faith. And that's what you're doing. You're moving forward in faith We don't know how big it's going to get. You don't know the exact direction it's going to go. But you know, the distance between now and where you are, or where you want to be and where you are is getting smaller every day because you're just taking those steps. That distance, that gap is closing, and you can see it clear and clear and clear.
Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that. My wife in the beginning, she's like, "What are you doing today?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm doing a podcast." When I first started,
Yeah.
it's like, "Podcast ain't work. Podcast ain't paying nothing."
Oh, damn.
I love.
Meet your wife. It sounds like a whole show going on right here.
And it wasn't until we started really hitting our stride, and now just this morning, she's like, "Hey, listen, I love it."
Nice.
Every time I share her what we produce, and yeah, she's just super behind me now. But like what we talked about, people cannot see what's not in there, like what's not there.
Right.
It's our job to bring it out and show it.
100%.
And that's kind of what I really wanted to talk to you about, man. Your vision, bro.
Yeah.
You I love what you did there. You asked me, you studied me, and I feel like I'm definitely I'm part of your fucking your team, bro. Like in regards to your mentorship.
100%. 100%. Yes.
Let's go,
brother. Definitely. It's on. But yeah, I'm excited to move forward with this new venture. So I just joined the EXP.
Okay.
And I was at Keller Williams. I was the CEO of Keller Williams Luxury Collective, mega team in Los Angeles, where they had the year prior done over 100 million in sales, which is great. But in the short time I was there, 10 months, I added over 90 agents. And really, which was like
what timeline?
Yeah. I was there for 10 months, but I didn't even recruit the whole time. At the beginning, I wanted to understand the business at a macro and a micro level.
Yeah.
So I didn't do anything but talk to people one-on-one for the first 45 or so days. I didn't want to make any recommendations, nothing. I needed to understand the pain points of the organization as a whole, as well as the individual agents. After I did that and studied it, I could understand how to move forward. Almost like a doctor. When you go to a doctor, they have to analyze before they can diagnose.
Yeah.
I can't just diagnose you like over the phone without seeing anything. Oh, you said this, so here's some medicine. Like that's not really helping anyone.
You needed the pulse. You needed that temperature one-on-one.
Exactly. I needed to really analyze the situation before I could make a recommendation. After I analyzed the situation, I understood how to move forward. I knew we needed more people to get to our goal, and we needed higher caliber agents, and we needed to grow the agents that we had there as well, help them get to that next level. So what I did was I added a lot of agents, recruiting frenzy. 90 people, which was essentially 6 months. I added over 90 people.
It's amazing.
Yeah, a lot of
Great
people
work, bro.
Thank you, brother.
Great work,
Thank you.
bro.
A lot of people wouldn't add 25 in a year.
Yeah.
I had over 90 in half a year. And our production went from just over 100 million to over 300 million. So,
like Larry June says, numbers.
Exactly. And I lead from integrity. That's the baseline of everything I do when it comes to leadership. That's the foundation is integrity. So when I tell people this is the best brokerage for you and this is why, it comes from a real place and they believe it. When I tell my agents, if you do A, B, and C in your business, if you make these changes, these adjustments, you do things this way, you'll see exponential returns. It comes from a real place. They believe it. I'm not just BSing like, I think this might work. It's like, no, this is what somebody who was in your situation at a previous team did, and this is the result they got. If we take these steps now, you'll see similar results. So it comes from a true place. And since I do lead with integrity, fast forward, when I saw the EXP model, my mind was kind of blown, to be honest. I was familiar with it, but people don't remember what you say. They remember how you make them feel.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Everybody that I met from EXP was probably a newer agent because they made me feel they didn't know what they were talking about.
They were still trying to get their footing.
Exactly. So there's not a lot of big EXP agents, especially in Los Angeles. In Orange County, there's more, and there's becoming more in Los Angeles, but there's not a lot of people.
Like on the west side, you're talking about,
right? Yeah. And they're not communicating the vision in the right way. A lot of these newer agents will make me feel like it's a MLM pyramid scheme. That's like what people are saying. That's how they're making you feel. That's how the communication is.
That's what they're pitching effectively, but they're not. Again, like you said, they're not selling that lifestyle, so to speak. What it really is, right?
And they don't even understand the model enough to sell it. So if I just focused on recruiting, I'm like, you can make a lot of money in recruiting and it's passive income. And you could be on a beach making a lot of money and you just sign up a few hundred people and that'll turn into a few thousand people and it's going to be amazing. I kind of made it feel like a MLM, right? And not that there's anything wrong with MLMs, but the problem with multi-level marketing companies that can exist is if we're trying to sell products, but we're not really selling products, we're selling the opportunity to sell products.
Correct, yeah.
And we're not even caring about the products. So for our business, if we were just selling the opportunity to sell real estate, hey, come be an agent here, but all you have to really do is recruit other agents and you don't have to be an agent, then it sounds like, well, if you're not really communicating the vision right, it can sound like an MLM pyramid scheme, whatever you want to call it. But ultimately, the true pyramid scheme is a traditional brokerage model. And I always understood that. The true pyramid scheme is like your traditional corporate job where you have the CEO at the top doing hardly any of the work. And you have the managers managing the people actually doing the work. Right? That's kind of how it works.
Sounds like Bank of America. Shit. Right. Took me down memory lane, bro.
Right? All the people, all the tellers, all the people, the personal bankers doing all the work, then the managers watching them, and then their managers watching them, and those managers are pointing to the CEO. He's just on a yacht somewhere. Now, that's like your pyramid scheme, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, when I actually saw the model for what it really was, that's why my mind was blown. Because number one, agents get to make more money for doing the job of being a real estate agent.
Yeah.
Right? Let's just not say somebody wants to build a huge organization, but just a real estate agent. They get more money by being with EXP.
Correct.
Right? There are 100% shops out there for sure. But the difference is if you're giving nothing to them, then you're also taking nothing. So if I give you all your commission, I'm taking nothing from you. So you're also, not going to get any value.
There's no training. There's none of that. They
Exactly.
it's just like, okay, thanks for coming by, stopping by, being part of it. Have a nice day. Wish you the best.
Right, exactly. And I've recruited into even Keller Williams, people that came from 100% shops that came to our team that, by the way, doesn't cap. Like at Keller Williams, we didn't cap. The teams don't cap. Keller Williams became famous for introducing the cap.
Correct.
And introducing profit sharing.
Correct.
Right? So that's what blew them up, but we didn't really cap at all, to be honest. I say really because there's one person there that capped, but everyone else didn't. So for all intents and purposes, there was no cap. And then profit sharing is actually a joke. I would tell them that going in. I realized that early on that the profit sharing wasn't anything because at the end of the day, profit sharing is a bottom line number, which means after all the expenses, after bonuses, after salaries, after rents, et cetera, whatever's left over, we're sharing that back. But brokerages operate almost in the red.
Pretty much.
Right? So profit sharing is kind of a joke. But when I saw the EXP model, I realized that what they did was they really fixed the problems that a Keller Williams and a traditional brokerage has. Mm-hmm. What do I mean by that? Agents always want more of their commission. So EXP said, okay, we'll give you all of your commission. And here's how it works. Everyone's on a $16,000 cap. If you're in enough production, which most full-time agents are, you become an icon agent and you get that $16,000 back in EXP stock. Now you're 100%.
Yeah.
But you do have that support behind you because what EXP does is that 16K, they take 8K, they run the company, take that other 8K, they share it back to the agents that help grow the organization. So the agents get revenue shared off the top instead of the bottom. So that's why revenue share works, profit share doesn't work. So what the next thing they did is essentially if you are an agent and you're in production, they tell you should start what? A team.
Yeah, immediately. Yeah.
That's the next thing you do. But as a CEO team leader who brought in a lot of agents, who led over 150 agents at one point, I know agents only join a team for one reason and one reason only. They need resources. Mm-hmm. They need the resources that the team provides, either leads, systems, technology, office space, even something like experience, being able to leverage that. Correct. They need something that the team offers that they don't have. But what's the problem with that? It's okay to fill that need, but over time, if that agent's full-time and good at their job, they'll eventually become self-sufficient. Now I don't need your leads.
Yep.
I don't need your systems. I don't need your resources. I don't need your tools. I have my own experience. Now what happens? As a team leader, are you going to just reduce your profits to keep them happy and just say, okay, fine, I'll keep you at $0 and you can have all your money and I'll just floss off your production? No, you're not going to do that.
That's a hard thing. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It doesn't work. So what happens? That agent leaves. They walk out the door and they start their own thing, and that business relationship is severed.
Correct.
What the model of EXP really does is it removes that as a pain point. So let's say, for example, I'm your mentor. I teach you everything. I give you all the knowledge, but you just have a much better personality. You have more energy. You're more charismatic. You have In Between the Tees podcast. It's #1 on iTunes. You know, like you're blowing up. Your business is going to be on fire. I'm actually happy for you. I'm not scared for you. If I was a Keller Williams, I'd be like, oh, dang, I'm scared for me. Happy for you, but scared for me. Like, you're going to leave in a second. But with the XP, it's not like that. You are not harmed in any way. You don't have any less money in any way by staying with the organization and having a huge business that can even eclipse mine. Mm-hmm. So, for example, I could even go to somebody today who has a bigger business than me, like a Josh Altman. And I can say, Josh, you're at Douglas Elliman right now. Yeah. I'm sure you're on a very favorable split. That's fantastic. You might even be 100% commission. That's fantastic. But guess what you can't do with Douglas Elliman? You're not opening up teams worldwide, and you're not having agents work under your brand that you are getting revenue from that you're not responsible for. That's what EXP fixed also. If you want to grow and build a big team or build a big brokerage, your liability is really high. I'm responsible for you. Everything
you're exposed because of the amount of members you have, right?
Exactly.
Someone messes up, where does that fall?
Exactly. On you. You're the broker with all the responsibility. So what the EXP model really does is it eliminates liability, eliminates it. It reduces time spent on the business because now you have other people that are financially incentivized to see you succeed that will work in your business essentially for free. Like I was a master recruiter, and anybody that comes to my organization, I can help them bring in their network. Yeah. I'll do it for them. They don't have to worry about it because I'm a master recruiter. That's what I'm great at, right? I can do that for you. There's a whole line of people that are there to support you. So the time you spend on your business also decrease. But what increases? Profitability increases because now you have a company that's sharing back the commission dollars to the agents. So your profitability increases. And guess what else increases? Retention. Now your top producers aren't running out the door. That was a problem that we had at KW. That's a problem we had at Compass.
Yeah. As revolving.
Exactly. As agents get big, and as agents become self-sufficient, they run out the door. So you're constantly losing your best people.
Yeah, and it creates a big problem because you're always in, dare I say, quicksand.
Right.
It's like golf. You're hitting a great drive, and then you find yourself in sand.
Exactly.
And then you got to go ahead and struggle to get up and down.
Right.
Yeah.
So we've eliminated the sand traps from
Funny, right?
Exactly. We've brought the tees much closer. So now
red tees?
Exactly. Okay. We're hitting off the red tees. We're hitting off the lady tees. We're hitting off the junior tees.
Yeah.
So the XP model, what it really does is it's not this multi-level marketing pyramid scheme. It's a company whose structure solves all of the pain points for teams, brokerages, and solo agents. Mm-hmm. That's what it does and what it does really well. If there's one thing I could change about the company, I would change it to where only people allowed to recruit are the ones who have experience doing so or the production to match.
The pedigree.
Right? Exactly. I wouldn't let just anyone do it because when just anyone does it, it feels like an MLM. When I communicate the vision, does that feel like an MLM to you? Or does it feel like I solved the problems of the business owner?
You laid it out, man. What if I was going to get my DRE, which I am, can I just sign here? What are we doing?
Yes, I got you. We have that documented right here.
Yeah, we got this. Hey, listen, hey, you guy, come here. Sign the paper.
Sign on the dotted line.
I like that, man. I really do because there is a lot of movement.
Yes.
Right. I'm seeing a lot of movement. I'm sure you're seeing a lot of movement going from like Keller Williams, where that institution is solid. They have a great platform for newer agents or resource, right? But what I will...
I won't, maybe not say solid. It's a legacy company.
There you go.
We're in right now, it's like a blockbuster Netflix moment that not everyone has realized yet.
Yeah.
So when Netflix first came out, it wasn't at mass scale. It was something that's the younger people were doing, but most people were still going to Blockbuster.
Yep.
Even Netflix themselves tried to sell themselves to Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Blockbuster said no.
Yeah, they were staunch, and they just didn't believe. They couldn't see that.
They couldn't see it. They couldn't see it. Right. So all these brokerages, the KWs, Coldwell Bankers, Sotheby's, even Compass, most of them operate on franchise models or brick and mortar models. The problem with that is we don't need that anymore.
Even Engel and Volkers too? The same thing?
Angle Volkers, they have a brick and mortar store too. Now, if you're a smaller company or you're a company that doesn't have a franchise model, you can pivot and go cloud-based.
Okay.
You can pivot and go cloud-based because EXP is the most profitable brokerage, period.
Yeah.
Hands down, it's like a mile between anybody else. There's no one close, literally, at all. And it's because they solved all the problems of a brokerage. They cut expenses of a brokerage also, which is the brick and mortar location, which is staff for every single location. Now there's one corporate office, one huge staff that operates for the entire company.
Yeah.
Right? And it takes the borders. That's the last thing I was going to say about the problems of a business. If you have a brokerage here in Los Angeles and you wanted to do an expansion team in Texas, you'd have to become a broker in Texas. If you
have to have a physical. Many states you need physical brick and mortars.
You need brick and mortar, and on top of that, you're going to want to have you have to have your license, and then you have to have your license in Florida if you want to do Florida, and if you want to go overseas, it takes all of the pressure off of the people that want to grow a big organization and want to grow a big team, or ultimately have like their own brokerage that's global. It takes off all the pressure from that person. So if you wanted to open up Texas today, you could. It's permissionless. At KW, you have to have permission to do it. You have to be granted a territory. You have to be granted a region, granted the opportunity to being an operating principal. With EXP, it's not like that at all. It's totally permissionless. If me and you literally want to go open up Texas and New York and Miami, we can do it all.
Here we go, bing bong.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Or actually, even nowadays, you don't even have to go out there. There's people that have global organizations and they haven't even stepped foot in the country, but they're just they're providing support. That's it. They're providing support, leadership, guidance, accountability, and a platform for them to do the same thing.
Yeah, it's fucking amazing, bro.
It really is.
You basically did what you told me in regards to when you went to KW. You studied it, looked at it, applied it, moving. You just explained to me your thoroughness.
Yes,
your thoroughness, man.
Thank you.
If this guy is thorough, guys. If you need someone to be following, follow man J Street.
Yes.
Right? Follow J Street.
I love to share my knowledge. Give me a follow, j.street.mba, j.street.mba on Instagram. Link in bio, all my contact information.
Yeah.
I'm recording a lot of YouTube videos that I'm going to be putting out.
Okay.
I love to share knowledge. I love to give game.
Yeah.
And the great thing is now there's no more borders on my business. There's no more limits on my business. I can go worldwide. So I can support people and give them the 20 plus years of knowledge I have in my brain by being mentored by some of the greatest that have ever done our business. I have all that knowledge floating around in my head 24/7, so I'm going to share a lot of it. But also with EXP, there's no more borders in my business, so I can help people build their business wherever they are in the world, literally, because we're everywhere.
And that's for you guys out there, man. If you're looking to go ahead and make that move from Australia, you don't even have to make that move. You just go ahead and just sign up with my boy.
Exactly. I'll teach them how to break into luxury, which is exactly the topic I'm speaking on here shortly. Yeah, man. Breaking into luxury.
With that, I just want to ask you one thing before we go ahead and break this front nine segment.
Yeah.
Golf.
Yes.
How did you get in it? Where is that in your life? Just real quick.
I love it. So golf is something that I've always been exposed to, but never played myself.
Okay.
So my grandpa, he owned his own law firm, and he was a huge golfer. Mm-hmm. And he always wanted my dad to play, but my dad said golf is boring, and I play basketball.
Yeah.
And he just never played with him. And then growing up, I first played basketball and football, and I always played with my dad. So I never had that hands-on experience, but I was exposed to it. Always see him out there playing, but never really did it. And then we fast forward all the way until just before COVID. Mm-hmm. I had intern that was working for me that was a really good golfer. He played college golf. He played high school. Yeah, he's really good. And he left playing, and he said, I feel like we should hit the golf course as a way to meet people in business and network.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I'm down to do anything. I'm down to try anything. Like, it never struck me as a fun activity. Let's roll, right? Yeah. So I went out there. We played one time, and then this was like the end of 2019. We played one time, and then COVID happened, shut everything down. And then I didn't play for a little bit, but once people started getting back out there a little bit again, I started playing. I bought like a cheap set from Roger Dunn.
Okay.
MBGP, whatever, like the cheapest box set you could get is. just because I wanted to see if I would be consistent with it before I made that investment. So I had that cheap set for a year. Then at the end of the year, I had fallen in love with the sport, man. I really did. I'm not good, but I love playing. And I decided to go ahead and buy a custom set, got a measured full ping custom set. And I love playing. And it has actually worked for business to kind of circle back to that. Yeah. So it is an expensive sport, like all the clubs, et cetera, et cetera. I probably spent somewhere in the ballpark of 10,000, something like that, when you consider everything. But yeah, I have a little obsession for sure.
Sheesh.
Yeah. Anything about how many?
You blew my set out the water there.
Oh yeah, the set's expensive, but then that also included like me going out and playing golf and spending money playing at expensive golf courses throughout LA and Orange County. Like, it's expensive. All in all, I probably spent about $10K. The clubs themselves, I think, were like 4 or 5.
Right.
So there you go. But I made probably 6 figures plus. Like, if I tallied it up, it's probably in the ballpark of like 110, 120.
Isn't that interesting? Like, being able to just, if you suck, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm not good.
You're just out there for 4 hours, really. What I've seen was that if you can be out there for 4 hours with a person, you can understand their business, their character.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot about it.
It's so true. And when you think about it also, if you were to do a lunch with somebody, most people do business lunches, right?
No.
That person might show up late. They might have a meeting they need to run to. You're lucky if you have an hour conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
But playing golf, like you said, that's a 3-4 hour commitment.
Yep.
You have that person, even if you do just 9 holes, that's at least an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. So you're able to really get to know somebody.
Yeah.
And then you also get to see their temperament. So I know I'm not good and I'm not like frustrated at myself. I'm even keeled. And that's how I'm in business too. So when things are up, they're down, they're sideways, like I'm still like
it's in the middle of the road. Yep.
Right. I meditate multiple times a day. So I'm always at peace and always return right back to it. If something happens and takes me out of my character for a second, I'm right back to it.
Yeah, I think this is what we'll leave off right here, bro. The 9th hole before we segue. Yeah. There's one thing that I did want to bring up because you just discussed it. Mm-hmm. There was a gentleman that told me the story in business. He says, listen, I had a client come out with my investor and it was a threesome, he was saying. Mm-hmm. And his wife joined just rolling in the cart. As the round kind of was going through, the investor was cheating, moving the ball around, and the wife caught that. And the dude didn't catch it. And they were supposed to lock in a 6-figure plus deal. And at the end of the round, he says, yeah, my wife told me. And she says, hey, listen, if he's chasing a ball around and cheating and doing little things, what do you think is his business acumen? What do you think his business like? And the husband really liked this guy, really loved him. Yeah. But hearing that feedback from his wife kind of really swayed him to not do business. And with that, it's about character, guys.
100%.
Character, guys.
Character.
Golf is a character sport.
Yes.
Golf will provide you clean fairways, and it's going to go ahead and really determine how you get out the rough, like you said.
Right.
So always be in the middle. And that's another episode of In Between the Tees. Jay Street, appreciate you, brother.
My pleasure.
Man, you the man, brother. I'm gonna be at the event just in a little bit. Got a little business to conclude, just like you, champ.
Yes.
I gotta get some of that jewelry, you know.
Go get that jewelry.
Yeah. Stay tuned. This one's gonna be dropping real soon, y'all.
Yes. Thank you guys.